Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 162 of Sold with Updike. Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we've got a great show today. We have a unit you don't want to miss that is in the high rise of the Bonaventure and a great remodel in Prestonwood that is going to be amazing as well.
And in our second segment today, we're going to talk about a little comparison between the last 3 or 4 years of the real estate market and how we got to where we are today.
That's a lot of information you don't want to miss. Some of the information even I was surprised at, and I know you will be too. So great information. It has been a very eventful week. I think it's been not as erratic as the weather, but still we're seeing the phone call is very interesting. It's always funny when you get a phone call and we're visiting with a client about listing their house, and we always want to know how our marketing dollars are going. And the question is, how did you come across us? And it was really interesting that Google was the winner the other day.
Yeah. He said we Googled best real estate agent in Dallas, and and we came up. I'm sure we were not number one on that list, but we do try to do a good social media presence and put our names out there, and so.
And you know what else is interesting? Because I'm always curious as to how things work. We have clients, and of course, whenever we bring their homes on the show, we ask them to actually put them in different social media groups that they're in, because we're not always part of everything. And that one post that was made on Edgefield we're showing it twice this afternoon because of that.
Yeah, just right, several showings over that.
So it's very interesting. I'm always like, what's the rhyme? What's the reason?
Yeah.
So
who knows?
Who knows? It's been a eventful week as well on the home front. Anything going on in your world?
I got my plumbing. Thank you, Rodrigo. Yay. I know you probably don't watch the show, but thank you for taking care of my mainline sprinkler repair, because that was driving me crazy and not really knowing where that water was coming from.
I have trees that are being trimmed. I know I did it already once this year, but I've decided that I'm going to try to maximize the length of time I can use the pool, because it is encased almost in a canopy, and it is so cold and refreshing in the summer, but it's so cold that you can't use it early enough, and then it goes away so early in the year.
Do you have a heater in your pool? You don't?
I'd love to, but it's not on the agenda for next year. So going to get that worked out as well. Other than that, I think it's just kind of, we're seeing the market bubble, and you can see here in the market watch that we've put together for you how things have begun to break free.
Yeah, it usually happens this time of year. New listings are up 34% week over week. Back on markets are up 25% to 426. And price decreases are also up, which we always see happen in the first of the year. I mean, that happens with a couple of our listings, and it kind of stimulates things again.
And under contract in the option period, this is that 7 to 10 day period where we do all the inspections. We're really looking at the house to figure out what needs to be done, or if it's something that we're going to continue with or not. And that's up 37% to 1339 over last week. Pending, that's when we are almost towards the closing. Everything is just getting wrapped up. Underwriting is working through the last bid on the loan, and that's up 22%, which is 1936. And then sold came in lower, which is 1978. And that's simply, if you go back up and look at the first week in June, the new listings were low, and therefore you're going to have a little bit lower number of closings as well.
And coming soons are up just a smidge, which is to be expected, to 231.
It's funny to me because I feel like coming soons this year have been the most consistent thing that we've had. They range from about 230 to 260.
It's like that's where it goes. That's where everybody puts their listing, at least for a day.
At least for a day, and it's just kind of in that little window. So, as we said at the top of the show, we were going to talk about our first house, and that is in a high rise at the Bonaventure. And this is a great area off Keller Springs. It's 5200 Keller Springs, unit 1017. And 1017 means it's on the 10th floor. It's the 17th unit, and this is a corner unit as well. What a great area this high rise is. And when it was built, it was so far ahead of the curve.
It really was. This was built by
Claire
Stern and Ray Stern. Went blank there for a minute. And it was actually called Claremont initially, named after his wife. The neighborhood around it is, when this was built, there was very, very little around it. But right now, there is a tremendous amount of stuff around it.
Absolutely. One of the things that, if you're a big golfer, this has a really great golf area. There's two on here, but we just picked the clubs at Prestonwood. These is a really interesting thing because it has two courses and an academy, plus the pro shop, of course. But this is a really great way to get out in Dallas and stretch it out.
I've been to this club several times. Our Realtor Association used to have a lot of events up there, and it's the clubhouse itself, or the main lodge is just really spectacular, very elegant. You feel very at home when you get there, but it's just, I don't know, it's got warmth to it.
The other thing too that's over there is the Addison Airport. Most people think about Love and DFW, but this is a really key element to the DFW area. It is FHA tower right here. You have landing strips that are large enough for the jets that are used. And it was built, I believe, in the 1970s by a private holding group that put this together. And then as the FAA saw how smaller airports were being absorbed and turned into housing, they came to the city of Addison with a proposal and grants and helped the city buy this to keep this as an asset for Addison.
And this is where Boomtown takes place every year, the 4th of July.
Oh,
with
really?
the fireworks show up there.
Okay, great.
The last thing we wanted to talk about location there is Kenny's Wood Fire Grill. Weston and I've been there a couple of times, more than a couple of times for lunch. One of their claims to fame is that they are the only restaurant in the country, I think, that has vodka on tap. Is it
Grey Goose?
Grey Goose. Grey Goose vodka on tap that comes out at 32 degrees.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too that we love about Kenny's Wood Fire Grill. You get a pop over with every meal as a complimentary appetizer, but it's very interesting too because they do such a great job of shading the natural light out that you kind of lose track of what time it is. Good or bad, it's a very interesting caveat of this.
It really is. So talking about this unit in particular, the Bonaventure has the ultimate package of amenities in it. It has concierge, package retrieval, mail pickup. They accept deliveries. They accept dry cleaning. The staff is phenomenal there, and there's a tremendous amount of staff. We were there just the other day, and I think there were 2 valet parkers, the front desk person, and then a person that was door manning, I guess, opening doors for people. This is a combination of 2 units up on the 10th floor. So we've got about 3,300 square feet in this, and it is just done in a spectacular fashion.
And one of the things that we found so impressive upon walking through the double front door is that you have almost a complete 180 view of the Dallas skyline. And it's not just a view with a couple of windows. These are floor to ceiling, as you see right there. And it really works with an entertaining concept. You have a really great walk-in living room that you see here that kind of transitions into this wonderful dining room. There are great walls here that are perfect for art as well. I think that we see a lot of people who may be downsizing for some of their larger homes. They still need the space for all of their belongings. And you can see here, there's really some great nooks and great ways to highlight those treasures.
Granite countertops in this. They've got this really cool bar area. I can see all of my glassware up in those glass windows.
Yep.
And pulling down martini glasses one at a time.
One at a time when you come back from Kenny's. And as you can see here, you have another little seating area there in the left-hand portion of the picture. That's great for breakfast, for cocktails. It can be used for a little work area. Here we've got a view of the kitchen, and it's right behind that bar, which makes it extremely user-friendly. And then it's a really great exercise in efficiency of space.
It really is. And it's not an oversized kitchen, but I don't know that you really need one there. Yeah. It's to me, it's kind of the perfect size. You've got a second living area here that is really oversized. It could be a gigantic game room if you wanted it to. So much space and flexibility with it. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, so we're going to have our second bedroom off of this space, and that's really great because it does separate the master. So if you have guests to stay over, or someone likes to stay up later or whatnot, it works out perfectly. And then this is the master.
This is the master. Beautiful downtown views, really nice, nicely done bathroom. This is a very specific quartz, granite that they used in this bathroom. Separate tub, separate shower, big walk-in shower, bar handles, everything.
And this goes back to that family room, and this is a little office that they have, and it actually has its own entrance from the hallway to here. So if you needed to have deliveries dropped off, they can do this right in this room. This is that second bedroom that I mentioned, and they have this set up more as an office with a pull-out sofa, full bathroom, walk-in closet as well. So it just really has everything that you're needing on this unit.
It really does, and I really like the feel of it. And here's one of the patio spaces you have that you get that almost 180-degree view from. You look out over part of the grounds, and you have such a spectacular gym in this place.
It is amazing.
So Ray and Claire Stern were two. He was a bodybuilder, and he was one of the first people to open a gym in Dallas, and for one of the first places to have indoor racquetball courts.
Yeah.
And so much of the gym and the interior of this building is built around the thought of a really nice ultimate gym.
It is a very fitness forward facility. So it does have a lot of extra amenities, indoor and outdoor pools. It also has a Venetian room. And this is Keller Springs. It is the 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And it has 2 car parking spots, 2 covered, 2 uncovered, built in 81. It's 3,370 square feet. Priced at $649, and that comes in at $192.58 a square foot. This is an amazing unit. Just some of the other things that it has. It also has a Venetian room. It also has a game room. It has an outdoor pool that we didn't get a picture of, and then 3 pet areas as well. So if you'd like more information about this unit, and there is a lot more information, please click on the link below in the comments. You'll be able to go directly to that, see some of the other pictures that we didn't use in this, and also get an idea of where it sits by expanding the map.
And we want to say thank you to Frada Sandler for letting us talk about her home today.
Great home.
Great home.
Jeff, what's the next one?
The next home we're going to talk about today is at 7047 Town Bluff Drive. And this is also in Dallas. This is in the Prestonwood neighborhood. And it's really, really a spectacular property, spectacular location, not terribly far from where we were just talking about with the Bonaventure, but more of the amenities in that area include the Addison Circle Park, which is really a cool park. They've got a lot of trails through there. They have Camp Gladiator classes that you can go to. I have several friends that do the Camp Gladiator classes,
really?
and they absolutely love them.
I think they're really interesting. It's a really great workout. I do like the fact that it is a workout that's outside. So if you're one of the ones that needs a little more nature in your life and less gym lights, this is the one for you. Also in this area, we went and had a great lunch the other day at Brass Tap. Brass Tap was pretty amazing. And this is a newer restaurant in an older renovated shopping center that has done a great job. Lots of beers on tap. I thought it was a really great way for this area to really incorporate more diverse families and different age brackets. Don't forget, on this one, you can order a flight.
Yes, they have 60 beers on tap. Great outdoor space. We went there with our friends group one night. I think there were 10 of us in the group that went, and the people were just as nice as they could be. It just was a really, really great experience. Big outdoor lawn in the middle of this. So there were kids running and playing and balls being thrown. And it was just, that, I don't know, really, really cool feel to it.
Yep. And last but not least, in this area, of course, we can't just have a house on this and not talk about the University of Dallas. This is a great asset to this area. We know that we've had investors in the past that like to buy in this area just because the caliber of people that are renting, whether it's professors, adjunct professors, or even the students there, it was really a successful venue for them to look in this area.
It really was. And this was a 2-year college for many, many years. And within the last, I think, 15 years or so, it became a 4-year college and is known worldwide for their engineering school.
And doesn't it have a really good master CEO program or something there?
I don't know that, but
For some
it would
reason, that
not
rings a
surprise
bell.
me at all.
I'm curious about their ceramics department. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Golly. Moving on directly into 7047 Town Bluff Drive. This is a great house. As we talked about, this area has a lot of ranches, which have become so popular today. They really set themselves up. If you're looking for a no stair, use it all on the same floor. And this is great because it's 0.26 of an acre, which does allow for a nice, probably 40-foot setback.
You walk in the door, and these are I'm guessing they're a white oak style flooring. Really has a great vibe to it. It goes through pretty much the entire home. As you walk into the left, you've got this really great sized dining room, very perfect sizing for if you've got the 8-person table. And then when you turn to the other side, you've got the room that could be the study.
Oh, yeah.
They have it set up as kind of a small living area, very intimate. All of the windows have been replaced in this home, and it really lets the light in.
And they did a good job of like creating the look that we have so many buyers going after today. How they've raised the ceiling, and you've got that beam there, and then you've got the rounded hearth as you saw, and it just works as you see how the living room to the kitchen and into this kitchen. You want islands like this, islands that you can sit at and eat at, islands that have the sink, islands that are spaced properly from the rest of the countertop to give you walk around. And then you also have a little sit in, and you also have a little wine fridge there you can see in the far right-hand portion of that photo.
And this home is in the Richardson School District, and the elementary is the Spring Creek Elementary, which is a very sought-after elementary school for kids.
Yep, it's a great house for just about any age bracket. As you can see here from the breakfast nook, we're able to look into the backyard, and it has a bit of a covered patio, which is really great. And as we swing over, I believe this is the master at one end of the house, which is really nice because it does separate itself both from living and from the other bedrooms.
This is the master bath with the double vanities in it, octagonal mirrors, octagon mirrors.
Fighting in the octagon.
Yeah, exactly. I really like what they've done with these shower doors in this home because they've done some additional, I don't know, is etching or painting or something, but it creates a really cool vibe in there with that way the doors are broken up into different lights.
And as you can see here, this homeowner has great style, and they're setting up these bedrooms amazingly. They're good size plantation shutters, as we said, new windows, walk-in closets, floors. And I love the fact that they are fans of wallpaper. As you will see here, they've used a great wallpaper. They're not also afraid of using matte black fixtures, which is a great element. And then this is going to be the 5th bedroom, I believe, in the back of the house.
You know, and this is always a great separation of bedrooms where you've got the separate shower over here. Works out great if you've got guests that need to come and stay for a few days, if you've got family or siblings or children that move in with you. It's all right over by the laundry room too, which I think is great because then people aren't like tramping through your house all over.
And the storage is great in there. It's so well thought of. It's smart. Everything gets put up easy. Backyard, again, we have a covered space that is really wonderful. What I love about this is that the fence is also board on board stained. There are no windows currently from other homes looking in the backyard, and it's large enough if you would like to put a pool. It is actually perfect.
Yeah, it would fit in there beautifully. So 7047 Town Bluff Drive is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage built in 1969. It's about 2,500 square feet, priced at $699, and that comes in at $272 a square foot. And if you'd like to see more images of this house, click on the links below. If you'd like to see take a tour of the house, reach out to us, let us know. We'd be happy to make that happen. And we'd like to say thank you to Jamie Marcineau for letting us talk about her home today. And with that, we'll be right back. There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the second segment of episode 162, Sold with Updike Pugh. Today, I get to geek out with slides and graphs and bar charts. And
put your seatbelts on, people. It's going to get bumpy. And I mean it. That graph is bumpy as all get out. We're going to take and do looking back. And usually you do a year-over-year comparison. But I think that the last 3 years have been pretty substantial that we need to take and look at this in totality.
I agree.
And begin to look at the history, because I don't think the year 21 versus 20 making as much sense until you add 19 and 18, because we need that context, I think, especially with new home sales. Or home
Absolutely.
sales.
And, the last several years, we've seen, 2021 has seen the highest level of home sales nationwide that we've seen in 15 years.
And this is the part I think that we talked about, how there was some surprising information. And I feel like there was so much chatter about low inventory that statistic actually threw me. But we started kind of talking it out, and there's so much new construction that has happened that's what has really bolstered that.
It has, and I think that number where you're talking about is really talking about home sales in its totality, as opposed to what we're going to be talking about in our bar charts and stuff, where that really is just MLS related stuff.
And we wanted to talk about like 3 components that we feel like have really made the biggest impact in this 2021 year. And so one of the things that we noticed was that interest rates were historically low. And we've said that forever, and it's unprecedented. There's another word you've never heard anyone say. But it's just the change in the interest rates and how they have dipped for so long that it's finally now we're seeing where the Fed has announced that there will be upticks in this next year.
Yeah, when we were coming out of the recession in the 12, 13, 14, 15, interest rates began to go up, and they actually hit a high of right at 5% in 2018.
Right.
And then they started dropping again, because in 2018, the rise in interest rate caused home sales to start to fall. And that it being one of the key pieces of the economy, the administration at the time really wanted to make sure that continued going forward.
Yep. And one of the other key elements is population growth. And we have seen that, and we've talked about it, and you all experience it daily as you commute, if you are commuting right now to and from work. And it is amazing at what has happened year over year. And this is when also we want to look at what's going on.
Yeah, just in the DFW area alone, we have had a 1.5 to 1.6% increase in population every year for the last 4 years. And so, right now we've got 6.5 million people.
And so I didn't find this on Google, but I know that I've seen it, and I know that Dallas has bumped, and it's New York, LA, Chicago, and then Dallas. Dallas did bump over Houston, or DFW. So that just tells you what the drive around here is.
It really is. One of the other things is, the pandemic itself caused a lot of this to happen, because you would think that with the pandemic, people would be staying at home and sticking where they are, but it was really kind of the reverse.
Yep. And it's so interesting to see that as the population growth, so did the job growth. And that's what we've seen, is just this influx of people bringing in, whether it's from an out of state and they're cashing out from an expensive, and they're being able to come over, and they're really adjusting the way homes are being bought and sold here. We see this job growth. Even I think it was the Dallas Business Journal had an article yesterday that said that Dallas is into the final for a Ford subsidiary here, and it will be close to left field, and it would bring, I think they said, 250 jobs. But if everybody's doing this little bit of dinking, it's a big thing.
It all adds up.
It does.
So what we really wanted to present today was to talk kind of how we got to where we are. Everybody hears about how crazy the real estate market is and how little inventory there is. We wanted to show you 3 line charts that cover 2018 to where we are today, and just show you kind of the activity that's going on. And so the first one we wanted to show you was the historical perspective of new listings. And so this is, you don't see every data point across the bottom axis on this, but it's every month is where you would see a change. And the highest point that we have ever had was in 2019, and that was in May, and there were 3,628 new listings that came on in Dallas County during that month. And that is very traditional of what we see. As you go into the next year there, May was also the highest month, and that had 3,352 new listings that came in. But what happened the next year?
So June is weird because, or the following year, 2021, is a little weird because it doesn't quite get the peak, and it almost has like a double peak. But the second peak was July, and that came in at 3228. And as you can see, it's a little bit lower than the year of 2020, but it is quite a bit lower than was in 2019.
So if we move on to our next slide, we're going to talk about, these are closed sales. And this is really what we've seen happen where, 2018 was kind of our normal year. And then in 2019, we really began to see the market surge. And so the largest number of sales occurred in May of 2019. In May of 2019, and there were 2,648 sold in that 1 month. What happened next year?
So in July in 2020, you see this enormous peak, and that is when it shot up to 2,932. And as you can see, that is a substantially higher than both 18 and 19. But what really made us nervous is what that did to the inventory, and look what happened in 2021.
Yeah, the high that year, last year, was in June with closed sales. And in June of 2021, there were only 2,635 sales in that year, in that month. So you can see that it fell from the year before by about 300 sales. And that was really, we feel, really restricted just because of the way inventory is. Builders were not ramping up as fast. Builders were hesitant to ramp up very fast because many of them got through the recession and, made by with the skin of their teeth, but they never wanted to be in that position again.
And the supply chain did take its toll on new construction quite a bit. I mean, even in the ones that we're working with our clients right now, that is the constant common denominator that we see throughout them.
It is, and it's funny because what we're seeing is that it really shifts from product to product.
Correct.
Like,
somebody can't get windows.
Somebody can't get windows for several weeks, and then all of a sudden there is a supply of windows, and then they suddenly can't get the appliances.
The Ventahood.
Yeah, the Ventahood. Yeah, exactly. Or the home that we closed in Lucas 70 days ago.
Does it have appliances?
They just got their double door Sub-Zero refrigerator in. So its supply chain really did affect the real estate market. But what really affected it more, I think, was the inventory of homes.
And this is probably what you've heard on the news a lot.
So that first little blip up you see in 2018 shows kind of the highest inventory for 2018. And there were about 6,758 homes on the market in Dallas County at that point. And then we began to see the traditional fall off like we do many times toward the end of the year.
And so in September of 2019, we reached the peak at 7,575. And then we see that drop for the following year in 2020, May, it reached 6,159. And then this is when everything started to really shift.
Yeah, 2021 inventories really started going down because of what we saw happen on the previous two slides. It was all kind of coming to a collision point. And July in 2021 was the highest point for the number of sales last year. And that was with a total, we're talking about inventory now. There were 3,635 homes on the market in July of 2021, contrasted with almost well over double that amount back in September of 2019, only 2 years before.
And then here's a little kicker. December of 2021, the inventory is at 1930. And if you can draw that line across, you see that never has the inventory been that low in 4 years.
Yeah, that is certainly the lowest point of the year always, but you can see the low points in the previous 3 or 4 years and how that is really, it's quite a dramatic change in terms of inventory.
It looks like 2017 was the lowest. No, if you go all the way back to 2017, you're about 4,100 in inventory.
And so what we see is that causes, that lack of inventory is, yes, the results of all this tends to stretch over into kind of what the average list price is, and then the price per square foot.
And this is where people are like really having to wrap their heads around if they didn't buy in 2019 and the same house that they're looking for, let's say, was $140 a square foot. Not always, but it's quite possible that same house could be $186 a square foot now.
It is.
That is, that is a huge hit in a very, very short amount of time, because we're talking about that was an appreciation. 21 over 20 was 18%, and 20 over 19 was 12%. Those are really large numbers. Our typical growth pattern or percentage of increase is usually between 5 and 8% a year. So to go from 12 and then the following year go to 18% over the first 12, I mean, again, you can see the math, large increases.
And, you know, I think one of the points that you would, I think if you were to amass another chart that showed the new construction sales that have occurred in 2019 and 2020, those in themselves are going to push that dollar per square foot up, because,
Right.
you know, our new construction runs about $300 a square foot. And we've seen so much redevelopment of neighborhoods, infill building,
Infill.
where they might have room for, like, the David Weekley property,
Right.
Where they've got 26 homes that they put in here, and they're at an average of like $240 a square foot.
Yep. And the last thing we want to show you is the average original list price. And this also is one of the slides that you see that there's quite a bit of jump from 19 to 21.
And in 19, it was 365,000. It jumped to 402,000 in 2020. And then in 2021, it really took a big jump. And the average list price was $446,000.
So here's kind of a little asterisk, and you hang your hat on it if you'd like. List price is not sold price, so it could go up or down, but we've seen many of them go above list price.
Yes, we
So
have.
that is something to consider.
So I hope that this has.
This is fun.
Yeah, I
It's
hope
a lot of information.
It's a lot of information. You may want to go back and watch this 2 or 3 times and stop and think about, because it's a lot of information, but it's the data of what's going on in the market right now.
And this is typically what we kind of like to look at when we're looking at pricing homes for our clients, is to look to see what the neighborhood is. And we're looking at a 30,000 square foot, but we can go all the way from zip code to like even just the subdivision and really check it out and see what's happening really quickly. And it's just the best guide to getting the best dollar for your house.
So I hope you found this helpful. Hope that it's answered some questions. Maybe it's churned some up. If you've got questions, just drop them in the slots below. We'll be happy to answer those for you. We really hope that you'll tune in with us next week, next Wednesday at noon on Facebook Live and YouTube for our next episode of Sold with Updike Pugh.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.